Hey guys, can anyone hear me? If you can just type a note. Let me just see how I can do this. There we go. All right. Hi everybody. Can anyone hear me? If you can you please just type here in the notes and let me know that you can hear me. Just let me know if you can hear me, please. We've got 19 people. This is my first time doing it. Yes, okay, perfect. Yes, you can hear me? Yes, awesome. This is my first time going live, actually second time. The first time I went live last year, the entire system went sideways. There were so many people. So, thank you so much for being here. This is an interesting experience for me. So I will be a little bit all over the place until I figure out what it is that I'm doing. It is also a test for me. Hello, everybody. It is also a test for me of trust because I will be doing mostly channeling, and it's very different when you do it on a video and then you get to edit, or you don't get to post it if you don't want to. And this is live, so it totally pushes me out of my comfort zone. And there are so many things going up really fast here that there's no way that I will be able to respond to you guys' messages. But every single one of you, so far 98 of you, thank you so much for being here. I'm a little bit nervous. It's different going live. All right, so first thing is first, thank you so much for being here. Without you, I wouldn't do this, and without you, quite frankly, I wouldn't be pushed to grow so much and so quickly. And we are in a time of incredible growth, so no time like the present to just be pushed out there. If you are new to my channel, welcome. I hope you stay. I hope you like what you hear. I love you too, every single one of you. Thank you so much. If you are new, thank you. If you like what you hear, please click the subscribe button. It would really, really help me spread the message to those other people. Seeing subscriber numbers, people tend to think that there is worthwhile content in there, so I would really appreciate if you could click the subscribe button and the notification button. That would mean a lot to you, to me, not to you. That would mean a lot to me from you. Also, if you are coming back, thank you so much. Again, it is because of you. This channel is growing, and it's because of you that I get to do all these amazing things, and I get to call it a job. How crazy is that? Also, I am going just to be myself, so if you are offended by swear words like shit or ass or anything of that sort, it's a little disclaimer right now that there will be moments where these words will fly out of my mouth. So if you're offended, maybe you should part right now so you don't hear it. If you are not offended, perfect. We're on the same page. Is there anything else? So I just want to say thank you so much for being here. Let's get started. If you are also not a member of my private Facebook page, Joanna the Healer private Facebook page, where you basically have to be allowed to come in, and we have a community of over 4,500 individuals, such as you, whose intention is to connect with like individuals and share love, compassion, understanding, all that wonderful good stuff. So if you would like to be a part of Joanna the Healer private page, that link is going to be right down below, at least when I release the video. Is there anything else that I need to say? Okay, so this is going to be these are going to be messages for the sign of air, or air signs. I have some cards put out, but I have not put out cards for each individual sign, each individual air sign. So I will do that at the very end. So what I want to do first is I want to connect with my source. And I want to start by saying that each and every one of you listening to this, whether it's live or it is down the road recorded, each and every one of you is getting a healing. Some of you may experience this healing right here in your heart area, upper heart towards your throat. Some of you will experience sensations going down your spine. If you are a sensitive person, you will feel these energies. You may also get, can I say the word triggered? You may also get triggered where you will have an emotion come up seemingly out of nowhere, and it has nothing to do with what you're watching right now. So if that's what happens, if you are getting triggered during this transmission, let's call it transmission, know that the trigger is happening because you are getting a healing, and this healing is meant to unlock or unravel or untie certain energetic blocks. I've never done this before, so this is new to me. I am going to be looking for your feedback now, if I can catch it, and also later. So this is, please know that you are also getting a healing. Just give me 1 second, sorry. My mom is calling and she's away, and I want to make sure that everything is okay. So just give me 1 second. This is live. Hello? What? Okay. Okay. Okay, Mom, I'm live on camera right now. Are you okay? Yes, it's okay. Okay. Okay, yeah. But you're still live. You're still on your live. I can't do anything right now. As long as you're okay. Okay, I'll call you later. Okay. Bye. Sorry, guys. Wow. That was my mom. And let me just get my energies. I apologize for this. That was my mom. She's away. She's fine. But the friends they are with, one of her friends had a heart attack. So let me just get these energies, the vibrations you're feeling right now, because I got triggered. So you might be feeling that. So just give me 1 second. Just to. What's also happening right now, because this caught me off guard, and it triggered obviously fear for me, because it was my mom and she was not feeling great, not sounding at first great. It wasn't her. This is helping me now to learn how to deal with very emotionally triggered situations. So I'm learning now how to push this feeling aside, because I have you. I want to work. Thank you so much for your prayers. Thank you. Thank you. This is my first live transmission, and this is what happens. But I'm glad they're okay, and everything happens for a reason. And my job here is to remain in center so that I can give you a message, and that is being dealt with. Her friend is being dealt with, so the person is fine. So everything is safe. Okay. They did tell me that this was going to be a test for me. So if you hear me saying this, maybe put a smiley face and give me a thumbs up, because this is really interesting. Some of you are saying anxious fear. Is that the same? You know what? I have to really dig into it, but I want to focus on these energies. Okay, let's move on with the job at hand. So, thank you again for being here 9 minutes later. This is going to be messages for this sign of air. Let me tune in. The first message I want to say to you is this. When you realize who you are, you realize your potential. And the moment you realize who you are, you will no longer think of yourself as small. That is a big kick-ass or big-ass energy. And I had a message come to me the other day that feeling small, believing that we are small, is so much more work than being ourselves. But we are afraid to be ourselves. And we are moving into time, lines and energy where that fear is not going to be as dominant anymore. So for the month of July, and even though I do give these messages for a certain month, there is no way that I could put this in a box of 4 weeks. This energy, as far as I'm concerned, is going to be continuing for the rest of the year, as far as I'm concerned. So the word that came up for you guys is the word expectations. And the number 10 is being shown around this for me, which tells me that your unconscious and conscious expectations are about to change or will be changing in the next few upcoming months. Because of that, you may experience quite a bit of a resistance. You may also feel this almost like a tug, like a tug and war. What's it called? A tug of war. This pulling sensation. 111. Perfect. If you experience any sort of resistance, the best advice that I could give you, and you will experience resistance. There is no doubt in my mind that you will experience resistance, and the reason for it is we are moving with an incredible speed in how we're changing. So ego is going to put on the brakes and say, well, where are you taking me? And the energies that we are moving into are incredibly powerful. And as I've said this before, and this is continuation of the same essentially, we cannot be in that powerful energy if we are carrying our baggage. So the next few months keeps continuing to be about releasing our baggage, what is no longer in alignment with our true selves or who we truly are. So if you're experiencing resistance, the best advice that I could give you is tune into this resistance and ask, and so that you can actually feel for yourself what it is that you're resisting. Chances are you're resisting several things, pretty much from the top of the list. Fear of the unknown, fear that something is bad is going to happen, fear that you're going to lose something, fear that you're not going to get whatever you're looking for. Resistance is all about fear. The way we move through fear, the way we move through resistance, I should say, is we move through the fear. And that is not necessarily a comfortable process. I am moving through this fear right now, and apparently, I've had a lot of fears around trust. So putting myself out there in front of you right now, live, is a huge trust lesson for me. So you will be experiencing trust lessons, I feel, or tests, if you will, between now and the end of this year. And because of these tests, if you will, your expectations of yourself will rise, which means you will do something that you are not comfortable with, so you will put yourself out of your comfort zone, and it'll be an experience and a half. You will feel fear, you will feel resistance, you will feel what I feel right now, which is slight apprehension, but at the same time, this bigger part of me goes, I am not going to let this resistance and this fear, which is fear of abandonment, or fear of rejection, or fear of abandonment, rule the rest of my life. And many of you will be almost like punching through this fear going forward. And when we do that, resistance can get pretty high. So don't be surprised if over the next little while your emotions become a little bit volatile. One day you're up, one day you're down. 1 hour you're up, the next hour you're down. Do your best to just be the observer without trying to jump into the feeling or without trying to fix it. And because we are processing so much, so quickly, having adequate rest and extra rest is not only important, it's mandatory. It's like your prescription. What I also felt is that over the next little while, and August is coming up, that if you are predominantly an air sign, I have one of my sign is air as well, Libra. We will be experiencing many aha moments, and these aha moments will be about looking into ourselves and realizing certain things we were not able to see before, or we were not ready to see. And these aha moments will fundamentally change the person you believe yourself to be. And if that isn't another way of saying identity change or ego change, then I don't know what it is. So let me go through some of the cards that I have for you, and I feel it'll nicely blend in with the message that I am receiving. Before I go with the cards, they asked me to share with you that I am learning just how to show up. And the reason why I'm sharing this with you, because I am you, you are me. We are all the same in terms of experiencing emotions. So if I am experiencing this, chances are you are experiencing this as well. And that's why we are attracting each other energetically. So what does it mean to just show up? For me, to just show up means to learn how to trust myself and how to trust the universe. And to know, and I'm getting chills all over my body, so some of you will feel this. Trust is a big thing, man. It doesn't get bigger than that. When you trust yourself, very little in life remains impossible. That's how big this change is. When you trust yourself, very little remains impossible. Okay? So trust is a big theme. And it kind of makes sense to me. It's a theme that I've been working through over the last few days, and generally, literally like 99% of the time, whatever I am working through, my clients end up working through the same thing. So it's almost like, it makes sense. I have to be step ahead of you in order to be able to adequately figure it out in myself and then present it to you in a way that could be very helpful. All right. So what energy is being activated for the sign of Aries in the month of July? We have the card Compassion. So I'm going to hold this up here. Okay, it's number 15. 1 and 5 comes to 6, which is all about balance. 1 is new beginnings, and 5, if you are not aware, is all about changes. So I don't think I have to repeat that we're going through changes right now. That's kind of sort of, everybody knows that. But these changes are big. In fact, I want to say these changes are monumental. And the reason why they are monumental is because these changes shift and reshape the very foundation that is you. In other words, who are you in terms of what you believe? And what you believe is what you create as your reality. Whether it's a conscious belief or subconscious belief, that reality will be visible in front of you. Everything in life is basically a reflection of what your truth is inside. There is just no other way. So, why is compassion showing up? Let me read this for you. Okay, I am slightly blind even with glasses on, so please forgive me. The frequency of compassion supports our ability to stand by others without judgment and be the divine mediator between heaven and earth, spirit and matter, so that unconditional love can flow from source through our heart and into the world. So I'm going to show you this again. So this is the energy that's being activated for the next month or so for if you're an air sign. Okay? This is not only compassion for other people, this is compassion for yourself. As a matter of fact, when you begin to see yourself through the eyes of compassion, your entire world will change in front of you. Why? Because when you see yourself through the eyes of compassion, you're not judgmental. And when you are judgmental, you are limiting yourself and you are putting yourself down. So this is a huge lesson of learning to look at ourselves the way the source would see you, the way the universe would see you, the way God would see you, whatever you believe God is, the way consciousness itself would see you. And I'll tell you how consciousness itself would see you. It would see you the way it sees me, except the way I see myself is different. And that's because I judge myself. So, the best way to be less judgmental of self is to learn to see yourself through the eyes of compassion. And that's nothing other than purely and simply called self-love. It is really the reason why I'm here in front of you. My job is to remind you who you are. My job is to teach you how to love yourself. My job is to remind you that you are more than your body, you are more than your emotions, you are more than your thoughts. You are so much more than that. You are made of the same things that stars are made of. And I'm sure you've heard this before, and you know, we can have it in our heads, but when you actually come to the place where you can recognize it in your body, when it's a felt perception, there's no feeling like it literally shatters your ego, and that's not a bad thing. All right, so let's move on with the cards. What other energy is being activated? Feminine, divine feminine, number 21. 2 and 1 is 3. It's all about expression. It's all about a growth, expansion. That's the Empress in a tarot deck. 2 is number of choices, decisions. 1, again, number of new beginnings. We are moving into some pretty incredible times. With the divine feminine, what I am noticing is that a lot of second chakra stuff is being brought up to the surface in order to be healed. So that's anything to do with trust, with mother issues, with abandonment, with fear around abandonment, anything that is out of balance in a second chakra, which is also the feminine center, is what is wanting to be revealed and therefore healed. So what you will notice over the next little while, that some of your mother issues may come up. And what do I mean by that? Any connections that you have that is attached to your mother, and this attachment is not serving you, or it's limiting you, which could be her belief systems, the way she raised you because she didn't know any different, the way she saw herself. For example, if your mother was someone who was abused, chances are she would have had an abusive relationship herself. That kind of a relationship would absolutely destroy her self-esteem. If you have a mother who didn't, or have a mother who does not have a self-esteem, or whose self-worth is low, or her sense of value is very low, you would have absolutely inherited some of that subconsciously because you're part of her. And whatever that is with you, if you are listening to this, chances are it is affecting you right here. Right here. This is what I feel, where I feel it, right here. And it is not allowing you to fully speak. It's like it's not allowing you to fully emerge. So, let me read this for you. The frequency of divine feminine supports our receptive, nurturing, and soft side, allowing it to express itself openly and helping us to connect to our intrinsic understanding of communication to all creation. Sorry, I'm blind. I'm going to show you again. Also, wearing hot pinks and reds, any color that you see here that's dominant, even if it's a ring with a stone, with a hot pink stone or red stone, would be very calming and also very anxiety absorbing, because red is a very grounding color. So choose something like that if you have it. Wear it with you, wear it close to you. Buy yourself red underwear. I don't know, something that is red or hot pink. Very grounding. Okay? So be prepared that if you have some unfinished business between you and a mother or a mother figure, it is going to come up over the next 4 to 6 months. And it's not a matter of maybe, it's a matter of when. Mark my words. And here's what I'm seeing. Many of us think we've dealt with it all, just to be reminded, not quite. So you may be surprised at some of the things that come up for you over the next few weeks and few months. Not because they're necessarily bad. I don't look at things as good or bad, but because you will be surprised thinking you've dealt with it already. And whatever that will be, for most of you, it will be around issues of abandonment. So you will get triggered in order to show you that this is still there and it needs to be released. That energy that is pent up needs to be harnessed to use in a way that can expand you and help you grow, not to limit you. All right? And I'm having a conversation here. Should I say something more? And they're saying to me, that is going to be enough. Whatever you get from these words, that's what you're supposed to get. And of course, if you ever want a private session with me, you know how to reach me. That information is down low. So we're having compassion and divine feminine. It's all about love. It's all about love, guys. It's all about love. It's all about love. But that's what I'm here to do. I'm here to teach you, to remind you that love is where you come from. Love is who you are. Love as frequency, not as love you feel towards someone. It's more than that. You are made of the same stuff. You are made of the same stuff. And when we are in our physical bodies, our human mind cannot comprehend that. However, just because it is not understood does not mean it doesn't exist. So imagine this for a moment. Imagine walking around in a body, being in a body, and your body and your mind especially is this incredibly powerful tool. And this powerful tool can create any existence, pretty much any existence within the confines of the human condition. Any existence pretty much that you want. But because you don't know it, you're never going to use it. So the time right now is about helping us see our power. And the way we see our power is when we recognize our illusion. I love how that came out. Many of you right now, your throat is being cleared. So don't be surprised if you start coughing. If you are not feeling this or not watching this live and you're watching this later, somehow the energy works the same. I, as Joanna, have no idea how that works. I'm not smart enough to understand that, but I trust. And since this is a lesson of trust, I'm just basically trusting what they're telling me to tell you. You feel it in your throat. So some of you, Margaret, says you feel it in your throat. Yes, 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 yes. Eventually, my goal is to give live healings in a group setting. It is something that's been talked to me about for quite some time, but I've been resisting. So when I tuned this morning to this live, I was basically told that we're going to do a healing on every single one of you. I love you too, guys, every single one of you. So you are getting a healing. If you're just coming into here, you are getting a healing. So point is, I will be offering healing sessions in a group setting. I have no idea how that's going to be, but I am kind of testing myself and seeing how you guys respond. And I have noticed through my healing sessions that the things that people are coming back with, my little human Joanna brain cannot grasp what I do. But whatever it is that I do, it seems to be very potent. So the fact that you're all experiencing this is yes, because I'm just a messenger. I'm just like you. I'm just a messenger. I'm just like you. The difference is I'm allowing myself to be more open, and apparently I've been working at this for many, many lifetimes. I guess that makes sense. So in this lifetime, I am to break out of the habit of not trusting myself, which keeps me small. And I'm saying this to you because you are me and I am you. So, what's going on? Birth and expansion. This is where we're moving into. However, it did show up in this position. Okay, notice it's a number 6 again. So what this is saying to me here is that over the next little while, you may literally feel like you are giving birth. Some of you who are pregnant may be giving birth in the next few weeks or few months, but that's obviously not majority of you. For majority of you, this is internal birth, you giving birth to yourself. You know the word expectations I was talking about at the very beginning, and shifting our expectations in terms of what we believe or what we expect out of the universe or from the universe. We are growing and we are shifting really, really fast. So, because it's coming up in the kind of a, let's call it reverse position, all this is telling me, I'm being asked to show it this way to you. All this is saying to me is that some of you will resist this birth. Remember this resistance I was talking about at the very beginning? It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. Mark my words. So, one way to deal with resistance, again, is to see yourself through the eyes of compassion. Is to see yourself from the eyes of love. How would your creator see you? Whatever you believe your creator is. I don't care. It could be a giraffe for all I know. I don't care. But if you believe that there is something other than you, bigger than you, that is creating this incredible universe that sometimes can be very sad because we humans tend to do shitty things. So there, I said it. If you like my swearing, give me a thumbs up. I'm not going to swear a lot. Haha, okay. Thank you. So, I'm always going to remind you who you are. That is my job here. As a matter of fact, I'm going to be emphatic about it. My job is to help and remind you who you are. So if you ask yourself, who am I? What do you get? And as long as I'm alive, as long as I am breathing, my aim and my fucking joy in life is to help you realize that you're not your fear. You're not your emotion. You're not your body. You're so much more than that. And I'm getting chills all over my place. It's like they're pounding me with energy. Always remember, you are more than what you think. But what you think defines you. So we have to look at our thoughts. So, if you are resisting change, if you are resisting birthing the new you, if you are resisting anything in your life, ask yourself the question, why am I resisting? Number one. Number two, what am I resisting? What is it that I'm actually resisting? Are you resisting being yourself? Perhaps you're resisting being yourself. Why? Because being yourself, at the beginning at least, seems very, very hard. And the reason why is because we try to be somebody we are not. Generally, not 100% of the time, but generally speaking, we always try to fit ourselves into some kind of a mold. But if you fit yourself into a mold, you're no longer unique, which means you're no longer yourself. Think of the snowflake. There's not two snowflakes alike, and each one is as beautiful as the other. If you want to compare yourself to anything or anyone, then compare yourself being as good as, not less than. Bring yourself up. Let me show you another card. the reason why I think it's not funny, but it's kind of funny because the same cards keep showing up. The Dark Night of the Soul. I personally got this card several times this week, and the identity, the ego identity, or the ego identity shattering, that's what Dark Night of the Soul is. And this card came up in the weekly message that I just posted. So, what is the Dark Night of the Soul? It's essentially you shedding your own skin. But it showed up again in this position. So there's going to be a whole lot of you resisting the process. And here's what I want to say to you. When you begin to feel heavy resistance, I want you to think of this. Something is happening. Because something internally is happening inside of you, some part of you begins to resist. So I want you to see resistance as a positive thing. Think about it. I want you to see resistance as a positive thing, a sign of something changing inside of you. Because you know what's going to happen? When you see it as a good thing, whatever it is that you are resisting is not going to be so strong. Okay? So it looks like a month of shedding our fears. But in order to shed our fears, we first have to know it. We have to realize we have certain fears. And a lot of these fears are deeply, deep in underground. They're deeply subconscious. But this energy, let me tell you, this mother energy, feminine energy, is going to dig the dirt out, if you know what I mean. So, this expansion that we are experiencing might make you feel a little bit out of sorts. It has made me feel out of sorts. I've had moments where I couldn't quite figure out who I was or how I felt. It was the weirdest feeling. I felt completely discombobulated. And once I kind of realized what was happening, I kind of went, okay, this is the feeling that comes with shifting perspective, which means changing my identity, which means attachments to certain ego things. And I said to myself, okay, even though it feels uncomfortable, I'm going to be okay with it. So I was okay with feeling uncomfortable. You'd be shocked how much, when you resist something, and then you realize what it is that you're resisting, and then you allow yourself to feel whatever that fear is, you could be shocked by how much the resistance goes down. Because you're no longer hitting a wall. You're just saying, okay, I accept you. Remember, the only way to deal with fear is through fear. Okay? So, don't see this card as a bad thing. Remember, don't see anything as a bad thing. Resistance is not a sign of a bad thing. It just means your ego is afraid. It's afraid of change. Ego doesn't like change. Ego absolutely fears its own death, and ego is extraordinarily fragile from what I'm understanding and what I'm seeing more and more each day. But remember, you are not your ego. So we have to move past it. Okay? Any misunderstandings that come up this month and for the rest of 2020, I want you to be very honest with yourself. I want you to hear your own truth, and I want you to be brave enough to speak your own truth. And as I'm saying this, I can feel a pressure right here. Let me know if any of you are feeling pressure here, okay, in this area. This is always to me an indicator that I'm holding back, or I'm picking up energy that's being held back. And this pressure here is not going to allow you to speak up and to express. You're feeling pressure. Yes, fantastic. Okay, so we're right on track. So, If you are feeling this pressure, you are being healed right now. Do not be surprised if in a moment from now or later you burst out crying for no reason. Okay? They're showing me an image of trying to crack a nut. So if you've been holding on here, it's been holding on for a while. And it's been one of my areas as well. So this is the heart chakra, obviously, which is, compassion. And this is our throat. We are releasing a lot of this. But remember, all of this, any stuff here, expression and feeling, is going to be more likely than not attached to stuff with second chakra, which has to do a lot with fear of abandonment, mother issues. So if you've had anything going on here and unable to express, chances are your root goes back to fear of abandonment, fear of rejection. Okay? I want to ask each and every one of you a favor when we're done with this session. I want you to ground yourself. And they're showing me it's as easy as stomping your feet on the floor and just really focusing on your feet jumping on the floor. Because what's happening, I am being asked to say, is that we are being downloaded with a lot of high frequency. And this high frequency is, this high frequency is meeting with this low frequency, and it can create a bit of a, resistance, I guess. And in order to ground this high frequency, it would be important to do some grounding exercises. So if you can even visualize grounding yourself, a cord all the way through the top of your head, all the way down through your body and down to Mother Earth, and ask Mother Earth to please ground you. Help her help you. Help her help you. Isn't that interesting? Help her help you. Oh, okay. So for many of you, this is a lesson in allowing. And some of you would have gotten very emotional right now. I held myself back because I want to remain professional. Okay? If you are feeling intense heat right now, it's part of that as well. Let me know if you're feeling dizzy. Wow. Yeah. Let me know if you are feeling anything right now. Heat, wanting to cry, anything of that sort. Yes. Okay. Flashes. Yeah. That's the resistance. That's the high frequency hitting the lower frequency of fear. That's creating this resistance. So just breathe through it. Also, whatever is being triggered right now in you, I want you to imagine being bigger than this feeling. I want you to imagine literally spreading yourself and being way, way, way bigger than the feeling that's coming up right now. What will happen is you will learn how to contain a feeling that's uncomfortable without the feeling overwhelming you. See, now I'm starting to feel better. If you are able to do this with me, let me know if the uncomfortable feeling has shifted. Okay, so honesty with yourself and with other people, very, very important. Okay? We have 313 guests. Thank you so much for all of you. Thank you so much. Please let me know if you're enjoying this so far. Like I said, this is my very first live session, so let me know if you're enjoying it. I'm just purely channeling this. Heat is gone. Perfect. By the way, 44, I have been seeing 444, quadruple 4, double 4 all the time. I wake up in the morning, or early in the morning, it's 444. Now, to me, personally for me, it represents building new foundations, and many, many new foundations. So the same is going to be with you. Number 4 is all about starting new foundations and making sure those foundations are solid. Starting with trust and starting with being honest. Always remember who you are. Whenever you forget and you get into a fight with somebody, or you get pissed off, or you get angry, I want you to stop and ask yourself, who am I being when I'm this angry person, or this pissed off person, or this whatever? Who are you being in that moment? Because you're not being your higher self. You're being the scared person, the sad person, the rejected person. But remember, you are none of those things. You never were, never will be. So stop trying to owning it as yours. Okay? Check your priorities. So the month of priorities, or month of July, is a month of figuring out your priorities. I want you to show you something. See this orange here? That's the first thing that my mind goes to, my eyes go to. That's the second chakra. And as we talked, second chakra is, a lot of it is mother stuff, feminine stuff, sexual orientation, sexual expression, sexual desire. So if you have any challenges with sexuality, shame, fear around sexuality, expect that to come up over the next few months in order to be faced and released. All right? So this card shows up in this position, and basically what it says to me is, check your priorities. What are your priorities? And as your expectations change, your priority will change. Or as your priorities change, your expectation will change as well. So if things come up for you over the next little while, July, August, and you are confused as to what to do or where to go or how to decide, ask yourself this question. What are my priorities? What are truly my, insert your name, priorities? Who am I doing this for? If you're doing it for somebody else, if you're deciding and you're deciding for somebody else, based on somebody else, then you better make sure that whatever that is online with you. Because generally speaking, it doesn't matter what we do, we always do things for ourselves. Yes, for other people, but when you break it down, it's always for ourselves. Okay? When we are being overgiving, we're doing it with other people, but we're doing it for ourselves. We're overgiving in order to get love, in order to feel safe, in order to feel being part of a group, in order to feel like you belong. We do it for ourselves. We just do it with other people, but at the end of the day, it's for ourselves. Yes, other people benefit for sure, but it's always for you, always for you. Okay? The beaver shows up and says, in this position, don't be afraid of grunt work. What's grunt work? It's dirty work. It's like building a house. You first have to dig up the dirt to pour the concrete to create a foundation. Without a strong foundation, whatever you build on top of a not strong foundation is going to eventually, well, crack. So don't be afraid of doing the grunt work. Not only that, the energies that we are experiencing are profoundly, profoundly, profoundly helpful in helping us establish new goals, new structures, new relationships, new habits. Anything that is outdated, anything that is no longer serving you, anything that's draining your energy, dig into it, recognize what it is, and choose to move in a different direction. Notice I use the word choose, because we have to choose. Internally, we have to choose and decide. If you've missed the beginning, don't worry, this will be posted just like any other monthly on my channel, so no worries. All right, I think it's time for the individual signs. So let's look at Gemini. So what do we have for the sign of Gemini? So if you're a Gemini, or if you have Gemini in your houses, your important houses. I'm not an astrologer, so I wouldn't know what important houses were other than your sun, your rising, and your moon. So as I'm shuffling cards for Gemini, I see some of you, hopefully not too many, but some of you being stuck in a prison. And this is a very self-made prison. And I'm looking at you in this prison, and I'm asking you, why are you still there? Why don't you get out? And you tell me, I don't know how. So some of you may feel that you are stuck, and you recognize where you're stuck, but you don't know how to get out. If you feel that way and you cannot get any feel from your spirit, from guides, from the universe, which would really be hard if you didn't. But hey, you may not recognize. If you really don't know how to get out, then this might be a time where you ask for help. Either for a trusted friend, someone who's maybe more professional, somebody who does a healing, someone like me. Don't be afraid to ask for help. Now remember, asking for help is also a lesson of allowing. So if you've had challenges with allowing, and they've been deeply rooted in the feeling of not being worthy or not having enough self-worth, then asking for help is going to be difficult. So here's what I want you to experiment with. If you're stuck, I want you to ask for help. If it's difficult to ask for help, I want you to notice it. Why is it difficult for you to ask for help? And I just hear the word rejection. Okay? I just hear the word rejection. So, for Geminis, rejection meaning you're not going to be rejected. Rejection meaning you're attached to a belief system that is rooted in the fear of rejection. Okay? And if that's where you reside, if that's your home, if your home is surrounded by feeling of rejection, then your expectation of the world will be for the world to reject you. We do not want to have those expectations. And those are hidden expectations. Most of the time you're not even aware. For example, if you're always the one giving, but you always get disappointed in other people, that's because you have a hidden expectation that says people will disappoint you. And, a card fell out. So, Gemini. Woo! Yes! This is crazy. Look at this. Faith. Geminis, have faith in a process. Ask someone for help, someone you trust. Also, examine what you believe. What do you believe? For some of you, you will begin to have more interest in astrology, Buddhism, Sanskrit, any kind of spiritually connected understandings. Okay? Many of you Geminis are at the end of a cycle, but you know what? We're all at the end of a cycle, so don't feel so bad. Being on the end of a cycle is actually a really good thing. But the reason why this is coming up is because the universe is asking you to have change, to have faith. The reason why I almost said change is because that's the number 5, and you are going through change. We all are. They're asking me to give you another card. So, faith is 1. What's another card for Gemini? Okay, so we have a decision coming up, or a choice to be made. Are you afraid to make the wrong choice? Are you unsure which choice to make? If you are unsure which choice to make, maybe you don't know what your priorities are. Maybe you're not asking yourself the right questions. What's important to you? If you have something to choose and decide and you don't know how, ask yourself what's important to you and which choice will bring you closer to what's important to you. In other words, know where you're going. Know where you're going. There is an indecision here being made or being shown. For some of you, it is doing more than one thing at a time, but being able to do it. And when I tune into this, it almost feels like some of you are leaving, this is the example, some of you are leaving certain jobs and you're starting something new, but you're not really leaving your job until this new thing is solid, so you're kind of doing both at the same time. So that's for some of you, not for all of you. But for most of you, there's some sort of a choice or decision, whether it be financial or in relation to money. Okay, so this could be something that you are connected with that has a financial connection to it. Okay, so this is for Gemini. Have faith in the process and have faith that you will make the right choice and right decision. Your heart already knows. That's the message. Your heart already knows. Notice the predominant colors here. A lot of reds and oranges. A lot of reds and oranges. It's all about trust, guys. It's all about trust. All right, so let's move on to what we got next. Libra. So this is my sign. Libra is my is it my rising? Sorry, too many cards fell out. So I tend to be very heady, very airy, which means I really, really have to work extra diligently in grounding myself. All right. Okay, so here's what. Whoa! Yes! Look at this. Three of Cups, celebration. We have the Empress. She did show up in reverse. That's okay. And then we have the Knight of Wands. So if you are a tarot reader, by all means, interpret these in your own way. I'm not a tarot reader. I suck at it. So I will tell you what I get. So first and foremost, what I get here very strongly is that there is some sort of a financially based collaboration. Meaning, you with another person or maybe two other people will be collaborating in order to make something happen, and that has some sort of financial reward. So that is what I get right away. Okay, now that's a very good thing. Now, considering that we have Knight of Wands here, and that's very much passion, drive. So whatever is that you are going to be creating with somebody else is very much passion driven. Okay, now, and there's a lot of focus. Why does this Empress come up in reverse? For some of you, it's coming up in reverse because you are resisting growth. You are resisting change. And the Empress is there. She's there anyway. And she has a lot of gifts to give you. She's even holding a baby. So that's my sign for you birthing the new you. Some of you may be a real human, but that's not obviously everybody. There's abundance here. There's abundance here. She's wearing green, which means she's healing, heart. But you're going, oh, I don't know if I can do this. I don't know if I can do this. I don't know if I'm worthy. I don't know if they will accept me. I don't know if I'm good enough. Yada, yada, yada. The things we say. No. No. Remember, change your expectations. So if you are in resistance to growth, if you are resisting change, and if you're resisting, you'll know. You'll feel it. Right here. You'll feel it. If you are resisting, ask yourself the question, why? What are you resisting? What is so scary that you are resisting? Are you resisting perhaps a good thing? Because perhaps you don't feel worthy of a good thing? That's going to be for some of you. More than I would like, unfortunately. Because majority of us here in this community right now, in the energy, have challenges with receiving and with trusting. But we're working through it, okay? So this is for you Libras and for me. Oh, by the way, yeah, that makes perfect sense. Yes, I am resisting change. It's not so much that I'm resisting change, it's that I'm having difficulty trusting myself with this change. But today is a test, and I said, screw it. I'm going to go in front of you and I'm going to be myself without any scripts, and 90% of what I said so far was pure channeling. Even though I had cards and certain things, those were just anchors to make me feel more comfortable, but I just basically showed up and channeled. So remember, we're learning how to show up, and that involves trust. Okay, let's go into Aquarius. What do we have for Aquarius? So if you're an Aquarius, here's an interesting vision that I have. You are coming in and out of your jail. So you are feeling stuck, but you're coming out. But what happens is you go back in again. So you are being very indecisive. And the indecision is, am I safe? Am I safe? Am I safe? Safety is really, that's what it's all about. But if you remember who you are, and if you remember that you are loved, and if you remember that you are made up of the same stuff that the stars are made of, you'll feel safer. And the reason why you will feel safer is because you will remind yourself that anything is pretty much possible within the constraint of a human body. Okay? I always want you to remember that. So, if you're an Aquarius, chances are quite high that over the next few months, you will be coming in and out of either relationship or situation, and you're going to feel very undecisive. For most of you, whatever that is, and I feel this reluctance right here. If you are Aquarius, let me know if you're feeling something here right now in your chest. It's like a pressure feeling. Yes, for Aquarius. If you're feeling pressure right now in your chest, right here, please let me know. Yes. Okay, all right. So, yes, okay, perfect. So I'm asking my team here to work on you right now. You are being worked on through your back, not the front, because if it would be through the front, it would be too overwhelming. So some of you may feel little sensations in your upper back. If you don't feel anything, do not worry. You are also getting a healing. You are just not perceiving the sensation. That's totally fine. It's totally okay. Sometimes I feel, sometimes I don't. I mostly feel, but sometimes I don't. So if you don't feel it, it's okay. It doesn't matter. You're still getting a healing. Now, for those of you who are feeling, let me know if you are feeling anything in your back. And this is your upper back. Also, some of you are starting to get a headache right here. If you are getting a slight pressure on your head right here, please let me know. You're getting chills? Perfect. Okay. Tingles in my back. Yes, fantastic. Yes. Awesome. Okay, so here's what they're asking you to do. They're asking you to close your eyes and imagine breathing in green mist. Breathe it in through your nose and send it down all the way through your body, all the way down to Mother Earth. If you saw what I just did, when I do healings, I do involuntary movements. It's just when I go through energetic blocks, my body starts to do its thing. That's one of the reasons why I haven't done any live yet, because I kind of look weird. Okay. If you are feeling dizzy, yes, it's okay. Just keep breathing. Keep breathing. Many of you will feel very tired after this session, so make sure you get some rest and make sure you drink lots and lots and lots of water, preferably with a little bit of Himalayan salt and lemon juice. Some of you, ladies especially, you are short on magnesium, or you could use some magnesium. I'm not a doctor, so please don't take my word for it. But if you just notice magnesium, what it's for. Some of you, I know magnesium helps you sleep, and it helps your nerves, it helps you in anxiety, it helps you relax. So many of you might be in need of some magnesium. If you are having difficulty sleeping, you might want to try some magnesium. Obviously, always check it with your doctor. Okay. So Aquarius. Whatever this indecision is, I see a brand new emotional beginning. That wasn't the card just fell out. So you are going to make a choice or decision. For some of you, it's going to be a tough one. And this tough choice means you are resigning from something, or you are choosing to close things down. And then that could be in a relationship. It could be something you are connected to as far as business or some community. Some of you are closing shop and you're going traveling. So closing shop could be literal, or could be a matter of speech, and you're going traveling. Some of you traveling, that's interesting. So traveling may be at some point once the planes start getting semi-normal, but for some of you, traveling could be just you're going on a different journey. Your journey is now in a different direction. Okay. Oh, that's what I saw. This is how excited I get. Sorry. This is what I saw. That's what I saw. When I get these things, when they happen, when I see them and they come out in cards, I'm like a freaking kid in a candy store. I cannot help it. Okay? So there is absolutely a brand new emotional beginning, but that tells me you had to go through this first. You had to go through some purge. So chances are you are going through a purge right now. You have been going through a purge from May. The month of May is being shown as well. But there is a brand new beginning. So between now and the end of the year, there is a brand new beginning. Something that is emotionally very satisfying, and something that feels light. It's like you don't have to try so hard anymore. And man, when I say that, when you get to a place where you feel like you don't have to try so hard anymore, and you get to be yourself, do you realize how phenomenal that is? It is everything. It's everything. It means you're not so much in the box anymore. And man, I just want to scream and shout. Oh, I love this. Okay, one more card. This, yes, absolutely could be a relationship. Some of you just asked, is a relationship. This could absolutely be a relationship, but it's more than that. It's your relationships with you. It's your relationship with the world. It's new path. It's everything. Yes, exactly. Everything. Everything. So, expect the best. Listen, the universe wants to support you. And you know how the universe supports you? The universe gives you everything you believe in. It has no other choice. It has no other option. That's how the universe works. So, if you've been in a shitty situation, the universe has given you a shitty situation because you believed in shitty expectations. So, again, remember the word expectation. I love this. One more card. You're also being protected during this difficult time. Some of you, I see you moving out. You're either moving out of a home, moving into a different location. I see you packing and moving. You haven't moved yet. You're in the process of moving. And this could be closing down the shop. Okay, show me, show me. I don't feel like a card wants to come out, so oh, actually one just did. Ooh, okay, what do we have? Ah, God, look at this. Isn't this crazy? I mean, are you serious? You're moving on to a new beginning. Like, seriously. Does it get any better than that? Okay. You also are facing your fears. Look at this moon here. We had the eclipse just a few days ago. There's going to be another one at the beginning of July. A lot of fun times. So, by facing your fears, you are moving on. And by going through your fears, this is where you end up. Okay? I want you to have this image etched in your third eye. That's all I want you to see. That's all I want you to see is the vision of this Ace of Cups. Let that be your expectation. Expect nothing else. Expect this. Always remember, what you expect is what you bring to you. That's how the universe supports you. Okay? All right, guys. That's all I have. Okay. How did you enjoy this? Tell me. I actually, once the first few minutes went by, and that little scare at the beginning, which thank you so much for understanding, I actually liked it. So let me know if you liked it. This will be posted, of course. Thank you, all of you. Thank you, thank you, thank you so much. Get some rest. You got a healing. Every single one of you got a healing, even if this is going to be listened to later. Make sure that you drink lots of water, get some rest. You guys loved it. Thank you. I am so happy. I am so happy. So I passed my test. Yay! My guys are happy and dancing because they're like, oh my God, Joanna, come on, get over yourself. Like, how long is it going to take you? And it's been a lifetime. So you can breathe again. Love this. You are nap time now. Yes, yes, yes. Thank you all so much. I love you all, every single one of you. Again, if you would like a session with me, whether it's a healing session or a regular conversation, you know how to reach me. That information is down below. And again, private Facebook page just for private members. That information is down below. Thank you again so much. Kisses to you. Bye.